My name is Brody Nieuwenswander. I'm a calligrapher. I live in Belgium, although I grew up in the United States and I moved to Europe in 1981. Actually, I studied art history and did a doctorate in art historical methodology. And at the same time, I studied calligraphy in London. If we're going to continue as calligraphers working with pen and ink on paper, we really have to ask ourselves, what's the place of that in 21st century society? How do we fit it into the technologies that we have and the social communications that we now use? The West that doesn't quite recognize the value of handwriting, and I think that in the West we could use calligraphy as a way of connecting ourselves to other parts of the world. Simply by understanding calligraphy, we can perhaps understand these very large cultures with which we're in daily contact. I'm quite an experimental calligrapher. I use a lot of different tools, many of which I've learned to make myself, some of which I've simply picked up off the street or found in shops somewhere. So anything from a traditional quill pen, which I have to cut, to a pen made out of a Coca-Cola can or a pen made out of a hair comb. They are unpredictable, they're difficult to control, and it sort of pushes the students to do things they wouldn't otherwise do. It takes them out of their comfort zone. It produces results that are rather surprising, and I hope it's also fun. So it engages them in the very physical process of putting ink on paper. Calligraphy is very physical. It really is about materials. Certainly we spend enough of our days on keep working on keyboards and looking at screens, and we forget that we have a very, very subtle and sophisticated set of tools stuck right on our bodies, which have a lot of interface and a great deal of sensitivity to how materials are working. And that's all information, that's all emotion, that's all something that we can use to create new and powerful works of art. And so I think that using real materials and getting our hands really dirty is one of the essential parts of being creative.
아무래도 폴란드 학생들은 굉장히 자유로운 분위기 속에서 창의적인 작업을 하는 게 있고요. 또 자기 스스로 독특한 개성들을 만들어내려고 하는 그런 자세나 태도들을 볼 수 있습니다. 반면에 한국 학생들은 조금은 다소 무거우면서 개성보다는 실용적인 측면의 디자인들을 표출하고, 물론 개인적인 그 디자인에 대한 완성도는 매우 높지만 아무래도 창의적인 생각이나 자유로움에서는 폴란드 학생들과 약간의 차이가 있는 것 같습니다. 나는 이번에 그 워크숍을 통해서 학생들의 자유로운 상상력과 창의적인 태도, 그리고 본인 어떤 특별한 스킬을 위한 자기 개성에 대한 표출들이 굉장히 풍부하다고 생각이 됩니다. 그래서 그걸 통해서 오히려 가르치면서 또 다른 나를 발견하고 배울 수 있었고요. 또 이 워크숍이 굉장히 그 중요한 의미를 가지고 있기 때문에 다음에 한국에 돌아가서 반대로 또 예그니스카가 한국 학생들을 지도할 수 있는 그런 기회가 됐으면 좋겠고요. 앞으로 이 프로그램이 중요하기 때문에 지속적인 그런 교류를 통해서 프로그램을 계속했으면 하는 그런 희망을 가지고 있습니다. 네, 감사합니다.